Well, hello chaps, and welcome to another episode of DTH Review. Today we're doing Payday 2, which we said we were going to do like 2 months ago, but...
yeah, well, you know, whatever.
Yeah, we've only just got around to doing it. I had trouble getting it, so it was actually out of stock for a while, so it was obviously pretty popular amongst console people, although I presume PC was probably the optimum experience, but we'll talk about that, because you played it on PC. So let's, I think, in case people don't know what it is a bank heist simulator, to say. You jump in with 4, you can use AI, but it's highly recommended against it because it's supposed to be terrible. I just played with 4 people on the interwebs, and you get put in, actually you choose your scenario, you have this screen, and you have a large collection of heists you can choose from, ranging in settings, scenarios, difficulties, and you're basically just free to play at will. You choose which one you want. There's no story or campaign. It's literally almost like matchmaking. You just choose what you want to do. And so let's jump in. What do you think about it? Because you weren't, if I remember, you weren't very enthusiastic. You weren't very excited.
It's okay. You know, I found the first 3 hours of play to be a lot of fun. And then after that, it just sort of got really repetitious.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably my biggest complaint about it is not really against the game. It's more against the people. Not even the people, but you really have to be playing with 3 other skilled, higher level players to pull off a bank job without it just turning into a gun battle, you know. And every game I played, after 2 minutes, it just turned into a horde mode of just killing cops.
Being stealthy is basically near impossible unless you have 4 coordinated experts.
Yeah, and that's sort of my biggest problem with it, is that every mission is just you holding an area and shooting cops.
Yeah, I did find the gunplay surprisingly satisfying, even though it's not the best looking game and the AI is pretty damn terrible. It was something that I didn't think it was going to hold my attention as long as it did. I played a good 5 hours my first session, and I was having a good time.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first time you sit down and play it, it's a lot of fun, and I was pleasantly surprised by the people. Like, I just played with random people match-made online, and
Me too.
They're surprisingly nice, you know. Like, I said, you know, I haven't played, I don't really know much about this, and the community seems like a pretty friendly group of people, you know. They were like super informative and telling me how to do this and how to do that, and that was really probably the biggest surprise was, oh, nice, friendly, helpful people on matchmaking. That's almost never happens.
See, that's surprising, because it's exactly what I have written down here, and I wasn't sure if we were going to share the experience, because I wasn't sure if maybe I was lucky and I just got paired up with good people, or if it would be different on PC, on Xbox, but everyone I played with was helpful. You know, if I got downed, I was always revived pretty quickly. I was never left behind, and yeah, everyone I played with was very cooperative. There was a good feeling of camaraderie amongst the people I played with, but I think it might be the way the game is designed, which is not a bad thing, the fact that it's designed around the fact that you have to work together to really pull it off. I have jumped into a game where everyone's dead and I'm on my own. It's near impossible doing it on your own. So you really have to work as a team, and even if it is kind of forced, it's nice. It's nice to have people that you don't even know kind of working together and completing one mission. It was fun.
Definitely, and I wish that you would unlock things a little bit faster.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I got to like a level 12 or something, and that took like 5 hours, and I had unlocked a mask and a secondary weapon, a new secondary weapon, and a new primary weapon, and that was it. And I just feel like if you unlock things just a little bit faster, like not like Call of Duty, every game you unlock something new, but if it was like every game or two, I mean, some of these games can go on for quite a while, you know, like 20 plus minutes, and I think if I were unlocking things a little bit faster, just a little bit faster, I would have stuck with it longer, because it really feels like you have to play a lot of the game to get to a point where you can be really successful with the heists.
There is I think, a certain grind section of the game where you have to kind of get into a sequence of doing similar missions over and over to reach a certain level, and then you can kind of push forward to more difficult heists. which unfortunately we can't talk about because I never got a chance to play one. I did try and get into some lobbies. There's like a star system. I think 1 star is hard, 2 stars really hard, and 3 star is like insane, suicidal. And I wanted to do some 2 and 3 star just so that I could talk about them and have footage, but I kept getting kicked out of the lobbies. I would come in at level 15 and they would just boot me out, which is probably fair enough, but it was kind of annoying.
I had that happen a few times, but I did manage to play a couple of the harder heists, and you know, it was sort of just like you take more damage faster. That's all I really noticed. But you know, there were new environments and it was harder, and I think that if you have a group of people to play this with, and if you all play it quite a bit and get up to like the 30s, then you can have a really good time with it. And I think that you could really be successful in the stealth missions, but I didn't have that, and you know, I don't know, it's fun for a time, but then eventually it just sort of starts feeling like you're playing the same thing over and over, and there's not much variation to it.
There was one game I jumped into where the team had successfully done some stealth. Do you know the nightclub mission?
Yeah.
They were upstairs where the safe is, where you draw in that safe, and none of them had been detected.
Wow.
And I came in and I was excited to join in, and obviously they booted me out because they presumed I was some stranger who would ruin it. So I think a lot of my complaints have almost come down to the fact that I played with strangers over playing with friends.
Yeah. Which
I just, you know, I can't force my friends to buy this game. They didn't buy it, they didn't have it. I couldn't get on Steam because my laptop's a piece of shit. So it's hard to complain about stuff that wouldn't have happened if you had played with some other people, but then you can't have a game that depends on it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get you.
It's a balance where, you know, I could have had more fun if other people had played it, but then I reckon you should still be able to play. If you buy a game, you should still be able to have fun regardless of your situation.
It should be a little bit more like Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, where that Left 4 Dead is designed for you to play with your friends, and it is phenomenal fun when you play with 3 other people, but it's still fun to play, and you can still play it successfully on your own, you know.
Yeah.
And I agree. I sort of wish that it was a bit friendlier to newcomers, if that, and it's not like it's hard, or it's just, yeah, it's very much designed solely around you playing with 3 of your friends.
Actually, one thing I did like is how you had to be slightly conservative when it comes to gun combat. You couldn't run out and be an absolute commando, unless, again, later on when you have armor and etc. You had to be not sneaky, but you had to be conservative, use cover. You couldn't run around being Rambo. So I liked, let's say, the amount of damage you took. So it wasn't just guns blazing. You had to be a bit careful. You could get down pretty easily.
Yeah.
So I did like that part about it. I think if you put the time in, I think it'd be a really good experience. Like if a group of your friends played it from the beginning, I think it'd be fun. I saw some higher level people running around with some pretty cool gear, some pretty creative masks and guns, and it looked pretty fun to be running around as those guys. And also when you go to your safe house and you have that stack of cash sitting there, I think that would be pretty satisfying to see that grow into a large pile. But yeah, it might be our fault that we reviewed the game without really playing it the way it's supposed to. But you know, I had no way around it, so I think the game should play the way that you have the ability to play, if that makes any sense. Okay, so in conclusion, I think it's an interesting concept. I think it's a fun idea, and it's also, I think we mentioned this, that it's a cheap package for Xbox over in Old Britannia. I think it's really cheap.
Yeah, it's a $40 title over here on across all platforms. Yeah,
awesome,
which is cool, and there's a lot of stuff in this game. I mean, it's just I just feel like it's not really for me.
Yeah,
I think if you have a group of people that are going to be playing this a lot, and I know a lot of people that have played a lot of time with this game. Yeah, I think if you have a group of people to play with, it's good fun. It just didn't quite click for me.
In the right scenario, you can get a lot out of it for your money's worth.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can get a lot of it, but you have to be in the right circumstances, which we weren't, which is obviously going to affect our enjoyment. And my rating is going to be 3 star. I think it has the potential to be really, really fun, but obviously I didn't have the right circumstances to enjoy it to the max.
Yeah, I agree. I think 3 is a fair rating. A strong 3. I will go and play more of it, and I might get more enjoyment out of it in the future. But yeah, it's a cool thing. I wish there was a little more variety to it. It's not necessarily made for me, I think.
I think that's fair enough, yeah. So, thanks for watching, guys, and we will be back next week.